Parents, I am Rehan Haji. This is my channel. It's Rehan. Today I am going to eat my breakfast, my study. Okay, I will show you some nature of my house. Okay. Look, my dear fans, this is my breakfast cornflakes, and I will show you some nature. This is my nature. Look. This is my outside nature. Look, this is my another nature. Look. Look. It's showing down my nature. And look, this is my breakfast cornflakes. I am eating cornflakes daily. Cornflakes is a healthy food for everyone. I will make after eating. I will show you. This is empty, and I am going to drink straight. Look, my dear friends, look, this is empty, and I am going to take in some study. I will meet after doing my study. I will show you my reading chapters and writing handwriting after doing. Okay. Look, my dear friends, this is my writing. Look, this is my writing. Look, I am complete my study. Look, this is my writing pointing to the Sydney car. Turn down. Look, this is my writing. Okay, parts I will made in my recipe which I will show you. Good afternoon, my dear friends. I am in my roof and I am eating my look. This is my lunch. Good afternoon lunch, and I am showing some nature. Look, this is my nature. Look, this is my nature. Look, this is my lunch. I will make after eating. I will show you. This is empty, and I am going to taking some rest. Look, my dear fans. Look, this is empty, and I am going to taking some rest. I am eat my lunch. Look, this is empty, and I am going to taking some rest. I will make in my study. Okay. Look, my dear parents, I am Rehan Mukherjee. I am seeing some nature in my. Look, this is my balcony. Look, this is my balcony. Look, I am done my Bengali. And look, this is my God room. I am going to doing my study. Look, this is my God room. Look, I am going to major 9. This is my nature. And I am going to doing my study with my teacher. My teacher is coming in my house and I am going to doing my study. My teacher is come and I am going to major 9. I am showing my study. Look, this is my major 9. Look, this is my upstairs. Look, this is my teacher. Look, this is my teacher. Look, this is my study. I will meet after doing my study. I will show you my reading chapters and writing handwriting after doing. Okay friends, okay. I will meet after doing my study. I will show you my reading chapter, writing handwriting after doing. Okay, okay. So my dear friends, today I was not writing. Look, this is my reading with my teacher. Look, this is my reading. Look, this is my reading. Look. Look. This is my reading. Look, this is my reading. Okay, parents, I'm complete my study. Okay, look. Okay. Look, my dear friends, I'm complete my study and I'm going to taking my yoga class with my mother. I will meet in my yoga class. I will show you my Bengali writing, my yoga class after doing. Okay, friends, I will meet in my yoga class. Good evening, my dear friends. I am Rehan Mukherjee. I am going to doing my Bengali study and yoga class with my mother. I am going alone Bengali study. I will show you. I am showing some nature. Look, this is my look, this is my bedroom and I am going to doing my Bengali study. Look, this is my stairs and I am doing my Bengali study. Look, this is my Medina. Look, this is my Bengali study. So I will meet after doing Bengali. I will show you my Bengali writing after doing. Okay friends, I will meet after doing Bengali. My mother was not come in my side. Okay, I am doing alone. Okay. Look, my dear friends, this is my reading. I am complete my Bengali class. I will show you. Look, this is my Bengali writing. Ga ga ka ga ga sa gi ga di ga su gu ga di gu ga di gri ga ka ge ga ka go ga o go ga ga sa gi ga su gu ga di gu ga di gri ga ka ge ga ka kho cha cha se chi cha se chu cha di chu cha di chi cha ga che cha ga cha o cho. Look, this is my reading and look, this is my reading. Call ka as koi pot. Look, this is khal খট খয়কাট খয়কাট খট গজ গজ গ বুর্গিজ গজ গ গল দন্দন গণ. Okay friends, I'm done my class and look, this is my mother. I'm going to doing my yoga class with my mother. Look, this is my yoga mat. Okay dear parents, I'm going to doing my yoga class and I will meet after doing yoga. Okay. Look my dear friends, I am Rehan Mukherjee. I am complete my study and I am going to eating my dinner. I will show you my dinner. Look, this is empty and I am going to eating my dinner. Okay friends. Look, I will show you. Okay, I will make in my. Look my dear friends, this is my dinner. I am eating aloo dam and roti and my sweet, and I will show you some nature. Okay, this is my roof nature. Look, this is my nature. Look, I'm complete my nature. And look, this is my nature. This is my dinner and I will meet tomorrow. Okay, good night. Tata. Bye bye. Bye bye. Tata. Good night. Okay.